So okay. So now the the header. Let's make the header. Let's give it the height of 40 pixel, which is actually small. But let's give it a background color of red. Quite small. Let's increase it to 60. No, 50. All right, 50 pixel background color of red and okay. Now let's do the same for the footer. Let's give it a height of 100, okay, 70 pixel, which we can still adjust later. And let's give it a background color of black. All right, and the main content can now take okay. We don't need to set the height for the main contents, but okay, let's just set the height of like we did the other time. We can use calculate function and say 100 report height, which is the total height minus. Now we have on for the header we have 50 pixel and for the footer we have 70 pixel. We can add it together and it gives 120. It's minus 120 pixel. So it takes the footer to the bottom. So let us give it the color of white so we can see what is there. So now let us remove the background color of the container so we can have the white background color. It just does it that so we can see everything. All right, so we can change this the header color. Let's give it blue because it looks like blue is more attractive. But we can just play around, reduce the sorry. Close to white, close to white, not really white. Okay, so now we have our layout, the header, the main content, and the footer. Now let us go to our header and let's write one or two codes in there. So now, I'm sorry, I'm not allowing you code along. So now, we spoke about lists the other day, other list and on other list. So now we're going to add our links to this header, and okay, we're going to create 3 sections in this header. One for the logo. Let me just write it. One for the logo. That's a div for the logo, and let me say okay, my navigation links. Let me just give it a class of nav link. So, and lastly, let's say we have to the right. Let's say we have either a search bar or better still in the header. Let us just do a search bar, a logo, and a profile. Let me remove the links. Let me remove the links. We have a logo. We have search bar. And search bar, and lastly we have the profile. So we have 3 things: profile. So we have logo, the search bar, and the profile. Let's go to our index CSS and let's go to our CSS and style this. So we have the first one, we have the logo. The second one, we have the search bar. And then sorry, and lastly we have the profile. So now we have these three, and we cannot leave them in this way. We have to like make them we don't want them in the horizontal in the vertical form. We want them in the horizontal form. And we did this in our last class, isn't the display flex. Yeah, the display flex actually changes the orientation. It's moving from the horizontal form, from the vertical form to the horizontal form. So we can go to the header. Since going back to our code, we can see that they are all inside the header div, the header class. They are all inside the header class. So it is in this header class we're going to set the display of flex. And what happens? They align side by side. So now each and every one of them, let us create.
So it's necessary you add it
inside the header. Inside the header. So now for this word, let us create a logo. Let's call it DG, DS for digital skills. I want to okay, digital skills. Yeah, digital skills. So now one more thing before okay. Now that's for this, but let us align everything to the center. So they come down, they have equal padding both up and down. And this as well, we did in the last class that I said, if you want to align something vertically, you use the align items. And if you want to align something horizontally, use the justify content. I hope you remember. So I can just say align items, and I set it to the center. What happens? They all come down to the center, having equal paddings, both up and down. So now we have the DS. Let us style it. Let's give it a color of white. Does that make sense? Okay, I can still we can still work on that. Let's increase the font size. Let's give it 24 pixel. Is it big enough? Let's make it 6 pixel. We can still adjust that, and let's increase the width of it. Let's give it 700 so it can be really bold. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Let me change the color. What other color can I use? Like let me use the same blue. But now we can now. Okay, we can also do something like give both of them a different distance by adding the span in here, and I'll just remove this S and put the S inside this, so I can style that and say the logo. I want to style that now. Say the logo, then the span inside the logo. What happened? I want to give it a color of let me say orange. Let me use orange red. So I'm giving both of them 2 different colors. Now I can let me see margin left minus 20 pixel. Let me say minus 10 pixel. All right. So what did I do? I gave it a negative margin to the left. Now let's say the difference between negative margin and positive margin. If I just give it a margin left of 10 pixels, what happens? It creates, it has its own border. It now says the distance between its own self and the thing that is to the left should be 10. But now, because I'm giving it a negative one, instead of it giving itself space from it is now moving inside by 10 pixels. That was what I was trying to do the other day, but it was not working. I don't know why it was not displaying the other day. So now if I give it a negative margin, what happens? It comes inside, and now we now have it on this, so I can just adjust it. Let's say 15. All right, this thing is cool. So now let's give everything a general padding, just the header. Let's give it a padding to the left and right. And like I said the other day, if you want to give it equal padding to the left and right and to the top and bottom, we just create specify 2 values. The first one will be for top and bottom, while the second one will be for the left and right. Let me give it 10. So 10 pixels to the left, 10 pixels to the right. So now,
Just added 1 0 again.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I remove this 0, it affects everything. It's now be 10 pixels to the top, 10 pixels to the right, to the bottom, and to the left. So now because I'm adding the first 0, it's now 0 pixel to the top. It goes to the next one, 10 pixels to the right. Then there's no other value. It now goes back to the first one, like 0 pixel to the bottom, then to the right, 10 pixels to the left. So if I do something like 0 here, what is it going to do? And now check the first one, 0 pixels to the top. It goes again, check the middle one, 10 pixels to the right. Then the third one, 0 pixels to the bottom. Then there's nothing to the left, right? It then gives it automatic the one that is given to the top. Sorry, to the right rather. Do you understand? So now if I add 5 pixels, what happens? It's meant to reduce by control S. Okay.
The other control.
This one.
Yes.
Okay. So if I give it 0 pixel, you can see it goes back to the just to specify 0 pixel to the left. But now because I have removed it, it gives you the same value it has given to the right. Yeah, so I can just remove this one. So 0 to the top and bottom, 10 to the left and right. So now we've done our logo. Let us give them gap. There's something called gap that we use in Flex and in Grid. Now this gap is the distance between each of the children. The distance between each of the children. If I give it 50 pixel, now what happens? They all space themselves by 50 pixel. If I give it the value of 80 pixel, they all space themselves by 80 pixel. Now this is the gap between the children. So now we have the header, which is overall container. We give it a display of flex. That means align and make everything horizontal. Now I'm not giving it a gap that okay, each of the children should have a gap of 80 pixel. So that is what is happening. It then creates a space for each of the children, that each of you should have a space of 80 pixel. But now let me reduce this. Let me just give it 20 pixel. So now we have 20 pixel and we have okay, 20 pixel between each and every one of them. So now we can for the search bar, I'm still going to do something. Okay, or let me just do it now. Now for the search bar, I want to like give everything a their equal position them where they are meant to be. So now for the search bar, I can do something like margin right and set it to auto. Then what happens? Profile goes to the extreme end. Now we all know that margin is the distance between.
What profile can't be different now? Why profile flag?
Now listen, margin is the distance, the space between yourself and every other thing that is around the border.
Okay.
The distance between everything between yourself and everything that is around you. Now if I give it a margin,
it's just like I want a space.
Yeah, I want a space. Now if I give it a margin right of 100 pixels, what happens? The profile moves to the right by 100. If I reduce it and give it 500 pixel, it moves to the right by 500. If I give it 20 pixel, it moves to the right by 20. So now I'm not giving it a margin right of auto, meaning I want to take every available space except the only thing, except what every other thing to my right can contain. If I have other things, let me say, let me copy this, Ctrl C, and let me Ctrl V. Okay. Or let me just do next. What happens? Next is to the right. So every other thing that I'm adding is becoming, it will be adding to it. But this search bar will now have its own full space. So if I keep adding other things, they'll keep closing the gap. They'll keep closing the gap. I can change it as well and say no, I don't want margin right. I want it to be margin left. what happens? And it takes it maintains where it is now. It now gives itself the margin straight to the extreme. Margin left. It now takes the space over here. All this then belongs to the search bar. So now we want to give it a margin right. And let me remove this word. So now let us create an input field for this. We've not started making use of icons. Okay, inputs, and we call it input text. So let me give it a class name, a class of search inputs. So I'm giving it a class called search inputs. Now let me come over here and style our search. So search bar is the name of the overall container, while search inputs is the field that is inside it, what we can type inside. So I can okay, search inputs. Now let me come back here and let me customize
You swap this thing here.
what's that?
The search, you have this thing by the side here. The profile and the search bar.
No, I gave it a margin right. So it's a bit to the left, then to take the margin to the right should be auto. That means every there should be space between itself and everything that's to the right. Yeah, that's why it is. So the search bar is should be at the left.
Okay, this part.
Yeah.
So it means this
Yeah, that's the search
is
bar. Yeah.
actually covering the part.
Yes.
Okay.
So now okay, so now this input is inside the search bar.